Okay, so I am Gina Wimp, and I'm an associate professor in the biology department at Georgetown University.
Uh, I am Jonathan Legist, a fifth grader at Greencastle. And I'm Layla Lumpkin, and I'm a student at Greencastle. What is your career?
So my career is a combination of two things because I'm a professor. So one of the things I do is I teach students, and I have a bunch of different classes that I teach at Georgetown University. And the other part is I do research. And I've worked in 3 different systems, and I always study what I call arthropods. So that is both insects and spiders and mites and things like that. So it's just sort of a bigger grouping than just insects. So it's kind of like they're related buddies. And so I always look at them in a bunch of different ecosystems. And what I try to understand is when we see a bunch of diversity, a bunch of different species of arthropods, why do we find that? And why do we find some areas where there are not very many? So, and we call that biodiversity. And that's what all of my research focuses on is biodiversity, what builds it up and what tears it down.
What is the most interesting part of your day-to-day job?
So the most interesting part of my job is I am a field biologist. So when I go out to study insects, I do it in a lab. I mean, that's where I go through samples and things like that, and I rear different insects in the lab. But the best part is going to the field. And that's where I go out into nature and out into salt marshes or forests. And that's where I do all my sampling and setting up experiments. And so a lot of my job is being outside and, running around in the woods or running around in the salt marsh and collecting insects and looking at them and seeing all the birds and crabs and other things that are out in that environment. And the worst day in the field is better than the best day in the office. So, being out in the field, it immediately makes me happy to be outside. So that's the absolute best part of my job.
All right, this question is from Bright in second grade. What do bugs eat?
Everything. It's almost easier to say what don't they eat. So we have a bunch of insects that eat plants, so we'll call those herbivores. We have a bunch of insects that feed on decaying things, and that can be decaying animals or decaying plants. We have a bunch of things that are predators that feed on the other things that feed on the decaying stuff or the live stuff. And then we have a group called parasitoids, and they are super crazy. So parasitoids are these insects. They're usually in Hymenoptera, which is the bees, wasps, and ants. And the mother comes along, she finds another insect, and she takes her ovipositor and injects her eggs into the other insect. The insect then grows and develops inside the body of another insect, and it's sort of eating them from the inside. And the insect that got these eggs injected is living through the whole thing. And then eventually they burst out of the body. So like they literally eat everything. Like anything, pretty much anything you name that isn't like a piece of plastic is fed on by some sort of insect.
This question is from Michaela in second grade. Why do bugs fly?
So flight in bugs is so important because they're little bitty guys. So getting from one place to another, if they just had to walk from here to there, would take forever. So they need to be able to find their food plants or the other things that they feed on. They need to be able to disperse to new habitats, and they need to be able to find mates. And the fastest way to do that for something small is to be able to fly.
Do you have any advice for the students here at Greencastle?
So my biggest pieces of advice are this. One is find something you love. So find something you love to do, because when you pick your job, you're going to be spending a lot of time doing your job. So it needs to be something you love. Try to get paid for that. That becomes important, but you can. And the third thing is something that I really want to convey to people is that when you decide you love something and you want to do something, don't let anybody or anything keep you from doing what you want to do. So along the way, when I was expressing interest in science and getting into science, I had a lot of people saying to me, you know, you're a girl, you can't do this. And what it's really important to just not listen to those people. You can do anything you want to do. So just keep that determination and don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. You totally can, and you just keep working for it until you achieve what you want to achieve. So you just set a goal for yourself and you don't let anybody or anything, you know, keep you off track. So just go for it.
Smash the like button and then comment down below and subscribe with post notifications. Bye, guys.